Hey, this is Nerdy Texan Accountant, and I'm going to be doing a video on why manga is selling better than US comic books. And I'm going to be doing it from a business perspective. I thought of this idea after I saw Just Some Guys video. I do recommend this video. I'm going to leave a link in the description to it and all the other, video that I use and the tweets and my sources. But just some guy brought up, like how One Piece will be overpassing Batman soon, and I just thought, I was wondering why this was occurring, and I'm an accounting major, so I thought I'll try to do it to see like the industries, comparing the two and see what differences there are that could explain this. I also watched a video by Yellow Flash. I recommend also checking him out. Again, link will be in the description. But his was very short video about pretty much like the main reason why manga is selling better than comic books is because there are no SJW politics or politics in general in them. After I watched Just Some Guy's video, I actually, tweeted this out. It's like wondering, why this would be, trying to get more information, and I did get quite a few responses and a lot of good reasons why, and I'll go over some of those, and I want to thank everyone who responded to the tweet. I want to just simply point out what will be the areas I'll be covering. I'll be covering the differences in their business models. That's what I'll be calling it, and pretty much this will be, the product, the production, and how, the formatting of the, manga and comic books, the distribution, the advertising, and customer relations. First will be the production and the formatting of the product. We'll begin with manga and how they usually have two type of formats: an anthology weekly magazine and tankobon, which means book or book. So this would be similar to the trade paperbacks. The comics, on the other hand, have single issue to series, basically, the floppies. You have trade paperbacks or hard covers and graphic novels. With manga, the writer and artist don't usually change throughout the series, while in comic books they will change, which will then, change the art, the direction of the comic. So that is a big factor in why people could change, like why people might prefer manga, because it could have a better overall story. While with comic books, you will then have it, changing. Like, you have one storyline, then it'll go to a different storyline, and continually like that. Manga is usually black and white. For comic books, it's usually in color, but there are some black and white comics. I think manga might be more competitive with the creators. Comic books, since it's really hard to get into the industry, it might not be as competitive because, well, since it's hard to get in, there's very few turnover with the employees. With manga, you have diverse genres, like you have yaoi, yuri, sci-fi, romance, shonen, shoujo, seinen, a whole bunch of them, which is targeting for different age groups and different, interests. With comic books, it's not as diverse in the genres. Usually it's superheroes, but it used to be more diverse. However, due to the Comics Code Authority and a few other things, that could explain the lack of it now. Also with the market. Comic books are trying to become more diverse in their genres now, but I think they're not trying to move away from the superhero only. Like, they're still trying to keep the superhero part of it, but add, oh, look, it's more romance in it, and other stuff like that. Another difference between manga and comic books are manga, even with two series that are owned by the same company, like Toriko and One Piece, and they're both owned by Shonen Jump, or published by Shonen Jump, they don't interconnect, and they have their own separate universes. I think one time there was a crossover, but that was like a special. While with comic books, Martian Manhunter will affect Batman, and Batman will affect Superman, in their respective runs. So pretty much, to understand what's going on, you would have to keep buying different, comics and different, storylines and what you are wanting to get. With manga, it's usually a lower price. Online, the digital, copy of 1 week of a weekly magazine of Shonen Jump is only 99 cents, while the books are $9.99, usually for 150 plus pages. I did see one for $14.99, but that was Berserk, and I know they're coming out with JoJo Bizarre Adventures hardcover, and that's $20. With comic books, on the other hand, they're usually a bit more costly. You pay $2.99 to $4.99 for a single issue that could have, I think, around 24 to 30 pages typically, and that's with advertisements in there as well. Alterna is the cheapest comic I know at the moment at $1.50 per issue, but that's because they use cheaper paper, so they're not the norm. The trade paperbacks are $20 to $35 plus, and hardcover trades are $50 plus. So this could affect, the ability to purchase, therefore affect the amount of sales for customers. Next is distribution. Manga is sold, at magazine stands at other stores like grocery stores in Japan and pretty much in so many different other areas. So newsstands in every other place. It is very general and widespread. While with comic books, they're sold at specialty shops, and well, that doesn't really help with the, getting new customers, getting a larger customer base when you have to go to a specialty shop. Even manga here in the US can be sold at, Barnes & Noble and a few other places. I think there are comics now trying to get into, more stores like Barnes and Noble, and I think Toys R Us Alternative Comics is doing that, but most of the time it will still be at a local comic book shop, and you will be stuck with that. I'm not saying local comic book shops are not bad. I think that they should be for special comics, like the rare ones, the collector item stuff, not just the run-of-the-mill average comic book. I think the average comic book should be sold at, grocery stores and general stands, and same thing with manga. Now, we also have, as we stated before, usually the manga is sold in weekly magazines, in multiple series. While with comic books, there are some weekly, but mostly they're monthly comics, and there are some bi-monthly. And when you buy one, you only get one story. That is usually it. Manga also has a larger customer base due to its large distribution area, while comics seem to have a shrinking customer base. And the shrinking customer base could cause the end of the comics industry, but that's usually also due to the product. Marvel needs to make better products that'll get more customers as well. I did try to find some advertising, but I really couldn't find it. My guess is that they'll do like normal advertising, with both like manga and comic books, but I think manga might be doing more advertising because they have to use the anime and the TV show, the movies to promote the manga. Well, the comic books, what I see them tending to, promote the TV shows and the movies. So it's sort of a reversal on that. Now, here's a very big reason, I think, for the difference. Manga allows customers to vote on the best stories in their weekly magazines. And this is a really, really good thing because it's able to help the industry, the company, know that this story isn't liked or this series isn't being enjoyed, so it'll be cut and then replaced with one that would be believed to have a better chance of getting customers. So the companies are listening and having good customer relations. This is what we need in the comic books industry. We don't need pros blocking people for no reason. We don't need people, being blocked because they didn't like one little aspect of the book or something like that. These companies need to learn that, hey, the customers are where we get our money. Another good thing is that manga doesn't politicize, as far as I can tell. I haven't seen any politics in manga, and there's like no SJWs at all in it. On comic books, there are too much politics. Like Marvel, you just need to stop putting in so many politics, or do what Batman White Knight is doing, having politics in there. But it's so well done that it shows both sides, and it's not a main part of the story. This is one of the most important things, like that is how you're going to get more customers. I like Raging Golden Eagle's tweet here. I'm just showing it, he says, let's give the customers what they want. These are the manga creators. Well, American comic creators will pretty much just insult you and say terrible things about you if you don't like them or don't like their work. Well, I think the main reason why manga sells better than comic books is because, well, as we saw earlier, it can get to a wider audience. It has, more diverse stories. These stories are much more better made. They have a goal, an ending goal, while with comic books, they don't really see that unless it's a limited series. Comic books don't have that, end goal. They just seem to go on forever. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why, is the quality of the product and the ending. Also the distribution. The wider audience you can get to, the more you can produce something, the better it is. I think another reason is also the price. That is one of the biggest things probably. I spend about $20 per week on average for comic books, and I don't get that many. Well, I can pay $10, for a tenbonku. Wait, I messed that up, sorry. Manga, one of the manga books, and pretty much I will get more out of that than most of the comics I'm getting per week. That is sad. I just hope that Marvel, DC, and the whole entire comic book industry will somehow change its model or attempt to change it. And alternative comics are actually doing that by doing, limited series. Oops. That wasn't important. Nothing broke, I promise. Alternative comics is doing that with having limited series. Most of their comics are that, and having larger distribution. Selling at Toys R Us, Barnes and Noble, and a few other places. That is, in the right direction. And I think if it continues, if we follow the alternative comic model with that, maybe comic books will become more widespread. But we also need, the comics to be good enough products for that, for people to buy. So, thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, if you did like it. Subscribe if you want to get more of my content. Hit the notification bell if you, get notified. And leave a comment, saying what you thought. Are comic books dying out? Is there a way to save comic books? Is there a way for the industry to make those changes? Will it be able to make them? Please leave your thoughts and ideas in the comment section down below. Oh yes, my avatar was drawn by Nerd Wonder. I'll leave a link to her channel and her Twitter account. Again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day.